Come on now. What did I tell you guys? Tough times don't last, only the tough people do. We go 4-1 yesterday. We snipped the losing streak in its bud, and we have now got all the momentum riding behind us and riding into a brand new episode of Pick 5, Win 5. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between. Welcome back to my daily betting show, where it is my job to give you my 5 favorite plays in the sports betting world. Like I said, coming off of a 4-1 day yesterday, we were just one game away from perfection. It was pretty funny and ironic because I was having a conversation with someone in the comments. They asked what the lock of the day was. I said, I don't have a real lock, but my favorite game is the under in the Rays-Guardians game, and that was the only game on the card that I missed. So unfortunate. I hope you didn't put too many units on that. If you guys don't know, I only place 1 unit on every pick that I give out on this show, but I know that's not a common approach, and I'd actually be interested to know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your method of determining what unit size to put on your bets is. Like I said, I put 1 unit on everything. It just makes it easier for bookkeeping and record keeping for the show, but you know, when I'm on my own personal time, I do weight my bets differently. So I'd be interested to hear how you guys figure out which of those bets you want to go heavy on, which of them you want to stay later on. But guys, you didn't come here for all that. You came here for the betting picks, and I'm eager to give them to you. But before I do, it is a mandatory rule that you smash the subscribe button. Don't press it. Don't tap it. Don't hit it. Don't do anything else. Don't lick it. Whatever freaky stuff you're thinking of, don't do that. Just smash the subscribe button. Get yourself locked in. I'm coming out with betting picks every single day. We've got all sorts of exciting NFL content on the horizon. Got a full season preview going through the final editing stages right now. All sorts of stuff that you don't want to miss out on. And of course, be a part of the community. I'm giving away $100 to one random subscriber who signs up before the first 1,000. So if you're one of the first 1,000 people to subscribe to the channel, you will have an automatic opportunity to win $100 at random. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the picks here. My first pick of the day, I'm taking the Chicago Cubs money line versus the Toronto Blue Jays. On the mound in this one is going to be Justin Steele of the Cubs. He's been really good. 13-3 with a 2.68 ERA and a 1.17 whip, going against Chris Bassett of the Blue Jays, who has also been pretty good. He's 11-6 with a 3.87 ERA and a 1.25 whip. Both of these guys have been pretty consistent over the course of the season. The one thing that I will point to as a key difference between them is they've thrown just about the same amount of innings, but Bassett has given up 21 home runs. Steele has only given up 9. And with the way the Cubs are swinging the bat, I definitely think that could rear its beautiful head for us in this case, and its ugly head for the Blue Jays in their case. Both of these teams are top 5 in scoring since the All-Star break, but the Blue Jays have a real, I don't even want to call it a problem, just an inability to manufacture runs on their home field, which is backwards for most teams. But ever since the Blue Jays changed the dimensions of their ballpark, their team has really struggled to adapt. They are the 4th lowest scoring team at home over the course of the season. They're also horrendous with runners in scoring position. They've got the, I think the 23rd or 24th batting average during that point. They give away so many opportunities. They're just extremely wasteful. Meanwhile, the Cubs are 8th again over the course of the season with runners in scoring position. So they're taking advantage of their opportunities, and they have been swinging the bat better than ever as of late. Both teams are tied with 35 wins in their last 60 games, but I do believe the Cubs are playing better baseball right now. I think it's some of their best baseball of the season. I'm going to lock them up. Cubs money line for the first pick of this Saturday episode. That takes us to the second pick, which I do believe was also the second pick yesterday. Nationals money line versus the Oakland Athletics. Look, I said it yesterday. It's not rocket science. The Nationals might not be amazing, but they are a better team than the Athletics are. They go out, they win yesterday 8-2 straight up as underdogs. Now, on the mound in this one is going to be Luis Medina for the A's. He's 3-8 with a 5.47 ERA and a 1.43 whip, going against Jake Irvin of the Nats, who's 3-5 with a 4.93 ERA and a 1.44 whip. Now, both these guys are coming off of shorter appearances. One of them was 3 innings, one of them was 4 innings, and they both gave up 3 earned runs, so just about looked the same in their last start. Medina actually did look pretty sharp last month, admittedly sharper than Irvin, but both these bullpens, first of all, are just horrendous, and also you can't trust the starting pitchers no matter who they are. I talked about it yesterday. The Athletics score fewer runs than everybody, not just over the course of the season, but also since the All-Star break. Meanwhile, ever since, again, that intermission, the Nationals are 8th in scoring. They've showed promise, that being the Nationals, as one of the better teams against the spread. They've been top 5 against the spread for a majority of the season, but now they're finally starting to convert that into wins. And as a result, they might get docked with their spread record because they're going to start to be favored more. But you know what? They're winning games. They've won 8 of their last 10 at home since the All-Star break. I think this is a great spot to get the Nationals. So you know what? We're going to do that here. Just to clarify, won 8 of the last 10 at home, not overall, at home. My third pick of the show, I'm going with the over of 8 runs in the Mariners-Orioles matchup. Now, on the bump for the Orioles will be Cole Irvin, who is 1-3 with a 5.44 ERA and a 1.50 whip, taking on George Kirby, who's 10-8 with a 3.22 ERA and a 1.05 whip. Now, Irvin has a 6.65 expected ERA so far this season. He hasn't given up 1 run so far this month, but he's only pitched 4 innings. And again, the 1.50 whip, the 6.65 expected ERA, we know what kind of pitcher he actually is. Now, Kirby, again, very impressive year, 3.22 ERA, 1.05 whip, but that ERA did rise to 3.89 last month. He had a really good start against the Angels last time, but you can count on him to give up a few runs here and there, especially against a team in the Orioles that is 35-22 on the road, one of the best road teams in all of baseball. Now, as I'm saying that, they lost yesterday 9-2, but first of all, the over would have hit easily in that game. And second of all, the Orioles had to fly cross country, play the very next day. They've got another night's rest and familiarity with their new territory. I think that this is going to be better for them. Now, the Mariners are on a hot streak. They've won 8 straight games, 10 of their last 11. They're averaging 5.2 runs during that stretch. But not to be outdone, the Orioles are averaging 5.3 during those same 11 games. The Orioles have also cashed the over in 7 of the last 12. Mariners are just about 50-50 or so. I think that we've got 2 teams that, yes, they can throw together good innings on the mound, but they're still offensively driven, in my opinion. They convert with runners in scoring position. They're both swinging the bat well lately, and as good as the Mariners have been, the Orioles, like I said, they win a ton of games away from home. That will make this game very competitive, and that will shoot it over for the third pick of the show. My fourth pick, I'm taking Astros -1.5 versus the Los Angeles Angels. Another double down on a pick that I made yesterday. And if anything, I'm almost more confident in it today than I was yesterday. On the mound for the Astros will be JP France. He's 8-3 with a 2.75 ERA and a 1.24 whip. Going against Tyler Anderson of the Angels, who's 5-3 with a 4.92 ERA and a 1.50 whip. Now, I will say this about Anderson. He has been showing improvement as the season has gone on, but he's still not anywhere close to France's level. France threw a shutout in his lone appearance this month. He had a 2.30 ERA last month and a 2.43 the month before. The guy is quickly rising up that starting rotation. I mean, he's neck and neck with Framber Valdez as far as impressiveness this season, honestly. The Astros won yesterday 11-3. They are averaging 8 runs scoring over their last 5 outings. Meanwhile, the Angels bullpen just continues to be awful. I'm not saying the Astros is unimpeachable, but it is definitely better than the Angels. And Shohei Ohtani has been hit by the Drake curse. Ever since Drake, there was that picture of him wearing the Ohtani jersey. Ohtani hasn't hit a home run. It's been a week now. Now, that's famous last words. He is still somebody who's hit 40 home runs. But right now, while he's going through a little mini slump, this is a perfect time to capitalize on betting against the Angels. So that's what we're going to do here. I apologize for some of the interruptions. We're going through some internet problems here, but we are up to the 5th and final pick of the show. And guys, it's just around the corner. But before we jump into it, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel for the daily betting picks, yada, yada, yada. You've heard me say it before. Let's get to the final pick here. I'm taking the Philadelphia Phillies money line versus the Minnesota Twins. Now, the Phillies have won 39 of their last 60 games. That is the second best record during that span, and only 1 game off of the leader, which is unsurprisingly the Atlanta Braves. On the mound for the Twins is going to be Pablo Lopez. He's 7-6 with a 3.81 ERA and a 1.10 whip, taking on Taijuan Walker of the Phillies, who is 13-4 with a 3.98 ERA and a 1.26 whip. Now, Walker, his last few starts haven't been that great. ERAs in the low, mid-4s, but he has a 2.92 ERA at home. And what I will say is the Phillies are 17-6 straight up in his appearances. Now, I've been on record saying that the pitcher's record is not a reflection of their ability necessarily. It's more of a team stat. But the simple fact is the Phillies tend to win games when Walker does get the start. Now, his counterpart Lopez had a really good start to the month. I think he's only given up 1 or 2 earned runs in 2 starts so far. However, those starts were against the Tigers and the Cardinals. He's facing a much more high-octane, high-powered offense in the Phillies here, especially with Trey Turner breaking out of his slump and some of the other guys just crushing home runs left and right. This is going to be a real challenge for Lopez. The Twins have also lost 4 straight games, including yesterday's matchup against the Phillies, which ended 13-2. It wasn't even close, totally lopsided. The Phillies are 34-22 at home. The Twins are 27-34 away. Both of these teams can score the baseball with ease, but the Phillies have the 3rd best bullpen ERA since June 1st. The Twins just about average at 15th. I think we've got a lot of indicators telling us to go with the Phillies here. And for the fair pricing of the money line, not the run line, the money line on their home field, I absolutely love this pick. So that's going to do it for the Pick 5, Win 5. Let's do the final rundown. We start off with Chicago Cubs money line versus the Toronto Blue Jays, Washington Nationals money line versus the Oakland Athletics, Seattle Mariners, Baltimore Orioles over 8 runs, Houston Astros Houston Astros -1.5 versus the Los Angeles Angels. That's what I was trying to say. And close it out, Philadelphia Phillies money line versus the Minnesota Twins. Guys, that's going to do it for this wonderful Saturday episode of Pick 5, Win 5. Appreciate you guys sticking with me through the losing streak. And I also tremendously appreciate all the support you have been showing to the channel. Like the video if you didn't enjoy this one. Comment. Let me know what your favorite picks of the day are, which of my picks you like, which of them you don't like. And until next time, I will see you all very soon. Have a great day.